What made you wish Twilight had never been written? For as long as I could remember, my friend Tina had been insecure about being pale. The boys at school constantly teased her, saying she looked sickly and called her Casper. She wore hoodies even in 95-degree weather to avoid getting bullied. I felt terrible watching her suffer. But the week she discovered Twilight, everything changed. She walked into class with bare arms for the first time in years. Quoting from the book, "My skin's like marble, pale and perfect." Everyone was shocked except me. I was just happy she'd found something that made her feel powerful instead of pathetic. At first, Tina's vampire thing seemed like typical teenage fandom. She'd come over with the books, reading her favorite passages out loud and giggling. "Edward Cullen is so dreamy." She'd mix glitter with sunscreen so both of our skins would look like thousands of tiny diamonds embedded, just like in the series. Our parents thought it was sweet. When Tina started wearing those amber contacts to school, even the counselor was supportive, saying, "Whatever helps her confidence." The boys who used to call her Casper now moved out of her way in the halls, looking completely intimidated by her confidence. Her parents bought her the whole book collection for Christmas and the Blu-ray disc of the first movie for her birthday. We were all thrilled at how much she thrived. Things got out of hand after spring break. Tina pulled me aside and opened her mouth. Her canines had been filed into points like actual fangs. I gasped. She ran her tongue over them proudly. "Cool, huh? They're permanent. I'll show you something else after school." At her house, Tina dragged me to the kitchen and drained blood from raw meat into a glass. She drank it down while I watched in horror. "Want some?" she asked, holding the glass toward my face. I threw up in the sink while she laughed. "Yeah, I was like that too at first, but it's actually not that bad." Before she could pressure me again, her mom marched in fuming red and waving a credit card statement. $3,000. Are you serious, Tina? That card was for emergencies only. Tina shrugged and lied calmly. "It's just teeth whitening." Her mom grabbed her face, forcing her mouth open. She saw the fangs and froze. Tina pulled back, glaring. "Do you want me to be bullied again?" After a long silence, Tina hugged her mom and said, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to be beautiful like the vampires in Twilight." Once her mom walked away defeated, I grabbed Tina's wrist and said sternly, "You're going too far. This isn't right." She frowned and told me to leave, completely unwilling to hear me out. After everything that happened, I avoided Tina at school. But on Friday, she walked over after class begging to be friends again. Please? Like old times? I'd been avoiding her for weeks, so I caved. Later that day, while we were watching Eclipse in my room, she suddenly stood up during her favorite scene and said, "Don't pause it. I just need the bathroom." But instead of making a left, she turned down the hall toward my 8-year-old brother's room. I got up and followed, pushing the door open to see what was going on. The dinosaur nightlight cast shadows on the worst thing I've ever seen. Tina had Justin pinned to his race car bed, her mouth clamped on his neck, not playing, feeding. This wet, rhythmic sucking sound filled the room. I stood there paralyzed, watching while the blood ran from under her lips, soaking his Pokemon pajamas, pooling on his space-themed sheets. Justin's eyes were huge with terror, tears streaming as his small hands pushed weakly at her face. "Shh, shh," she whispered between swallows. "The burn means it's working. You're so lucky." I screamed for help and stumbled in to switch on the lights. Tina's head jerked up. Blood covered her chin, her contacts reflected like a predator's eyes. "Don't interrupt," she hissed. "I can taste his innocence. It's exactly like the book said. Sweet and addicting." Justin made this horrible choking sound. I grabbed her hair, yanking hard, but she was impossibly strong. "He just needs to die first, then he'll wake up perfect." My parents crashed through the door, yelling curse words when they saw the sight. Dad ripped her off while she fought like something possessed. "You're ruining it," she screamed, Justin's blood spraying from her mouth. Mom pressed towels to Justin's neck while sobbing hysterically. The white cloth turned red instantly. "Call 911," she screamed. Tina tried to lunge past Dad. "Let me finish. He's already half turned. Can't you smell how his blood's changing?" Dad pinned her down while she thrashed. "His thoughts are in my head now," she moaned, licking the blood from her lips. "He's scared, but he understands. He wants to live forever as my Edward." Dad held her down until the EMTs arrived. When they got careless, she bit one of them too, screaming about spreading the gift. They had to sedate her twice before taking her away. They took Tina to the state psychiatric hospital. Justin needed stitches and 1 liter of transfusions. He eventually stabilized, but left the hospital traumatized. 2 years have passed since then, but he still sleeps with every light on. The puncture scars on his neck look exactly like fang marks, haunting our family. I visited Tina once, a year later. She smiled with those pointy teeth and whispered, "How's my Edward? Has he taken his first victim?" When I said he wasn't a vampire, she laughed. "The change takes years for children. Tell him Bella is waiting."